began with one unnoticed boy and one forgotten man, Liam, a 10-year-old with holes in his shoes and a heart full of gold, and Mr. Benson, an elderly widower who hadn't had a real conversation in weeks, who sat every morning on his front porch wrapped in a threadbare sweater, watching a world that had learned to walk past pain without blinking, until one morning, Liam noticed the tremble in the old man's hands and without hesitation handed him the extra cup of tea his mother had packed for him, saying softly, "You look cold," before rushing off to school without waiting for a thank you. But that single gesture landed like sunlight in the cold corners of Mr. Benson's soul, making him feel seen for the first time in years. And the next morning he baked cookies, his late wife's recipe, and placed them in a small basket on the edge of the sidewalk with a sign that said, "Take one if your heart needs something sweet." And people did, one by one, until a young woman named Angela took one just moments before she had planned to end her life that day. And the unexpected warmth of that cookie reminded her that good still existed. So she walked into the bakery across the street and used her last money to buy bread for the homeless man near the bus stop, who in turn gave half of it to another man shivering in the rain. And when a curious child saw this and asked his mother why the man shared his only bread, she knelt beside him and said, "Because kindness is the one thing we can give without losing anything." And that child, moved deeply, wrote a class essay on the power of giving, which his teacher shared online, where it went viral, prompting a wave of donations to the struggling school, which used the funds to feed hungry students and provide free uniforms, one of which ended up on a girl named Mariam, who had been skipping school because she couldn't afford one, and when she returned, she found her joy again and volunteered to clean up the school garden, which became a safe space for lonely kids, one of whom shared his story with a local journalist visiting the school. And that story became a front-page piece titled, "The Ripple of One Good Deed." And people began reaching out to one another in ways they hadn't before. Strangers checked on neighbors. Shop owners gave discounts to struggling families. Churches and mosques hosted joint events for the first time in years. And Mr. Benson, sitting again on his porch weeks later, watched as his quiet street had transformed into a humming, laughing, caring community. Not because of a grand donation or a government program, but because one child had the heart to share his tea, and in doing so, reminded everyone that kindness is not just an act, but a seed we plant, sometimes in silence, sometimes unnoticed, but with the power to grow into a forest of hope. And if there is one lesson this world cannot afford to forget, it's that kindness costs nothing, but it returns everything: peace, connection, humanity. And in a time when the world often feels cold, may we all remember to be someone's warm cup of tea.